Hello everyone, my name is Isaac Seguner and welcome to this Vue.js and SharePoint video. In my last video, my third video, and this is going to be my last video, but in my third video, we basically have this page here, and what we're doing, what we've done so far is we've used Vue.js to grab data from a list and then render it to our page. And then we have this region drop down here to filter the page. As you can see, it's filtering northern. And then we added this link here to edit the edit form of the corresponding item. So what we have left to do now is to add the functionality to filter this. But before we go on to do that, let me first talk about why this page, when we initially do this, come to the page, it's blank. And this it became blank during my last video when I added this functionality. And I want to show you why it's blank. So let's go over to our code. In our code, as you can see, we're having this v directive here, v4 item in PG, so it's looping through our PG. So if we go to our JavaScript, in our JavaScript, as you see, when we initially call our get list data from this lifecycle hook created, it populates our PG array. And initially we were looping through the PG, so this was PG initially, but we had to change it when we added this cascade function. Because the drop down, we were using the drop down, we were grabbing the value from the drop down, and then we were filtering based on the value from the drop down. So if it was Eastern, it'll give us all the Eastern data from our PG array, and then dump it into our new PG array. And that's why we're using looping through new PG here. And the reason it's not showing when we initially go to the page is because when we call our get list data, it's dumping everything into PG, and we are not looping through PG, we're looping through new PG. So the way to fix that is just one line, that.new PG equal to, and then just data.d.results. Save. Now once we do that, now it's looping through everything. New PG. So if we come here and we do a refresh, hard refresh, and there it is. It has all the regions, and the filtering still works. So if I come up here, the drop down, Eastern, Southern, Northern. So now let's go ahead and add the functionality to this. Now let me introduce you to a new concept in Vue called computed properties. And computed properties are great because they allow you to manipulate data that already exists. And it's great when you have tons of data to use computed properties. And they're also great because the calculations will be cached. So it's cached and only updated when needed. So that's a fantastic thing about computer properties. Now let's go ahead and get started. Now it may look like a method, but it's not a method. And here's how you use it. And I'm just going to copy and paste because I already have this already kind of calculated. Let me copy from here. Give me a second here. So I'm just going to copy this and then explain it. Paste. So here's my computer property. It looks like a function, but it really isn't a function because you're not going to call it like a function. It's just going to be like sort of like an expression within your braces. So here's my filtered regions. I'm saying filtered regions. So I am grabbing the value in my drop down, and you remember we have these defined up here, And then we are using a V model to bind it. And the reason you use the V model is so that your Vue instance can be able to manipulate it as well, and it can still bind to your form. So here we're saying you're grabbing, once we have our region drop down value, we're going to assign it to our selected region. And then here's a search table. This is the text box. We're going to assign whatever is in there, we're going to assign it to this filter. And then it goes through all this. Okay, if it's, if there's a value, then do this. It's basically a truthy. So it's testing for this, and then it'll also test for the filter, which is this value here. And then if there's a filter, then whatever is being typed into our checkbox, into our text box, it does the filtering for that as well. And even if it isn't, if it's just this and nothing gets typed into the filter, then it'll return the selected region. It'll filter again, kind of like it's doing up here, and it'll filter that again. Else, just return everything, and that's what this is. Now, the way to use this is what we want to do is to loop through what has been given loop through the results we've gotten through all of this, whatever is being returned from this. So let me copy this, and then let's go here, and instead of new PG, now we're going to say filtered regions. Save. Now let's go back to our SharePoint page. Okay, let's see what's going on. Filtered regions is not defined, so I think I'm doing something wrong. Let's go back. Let me make sure I have this in the right methods. So computer right there. Filter regions. Did I save the file? No, I didn't save the file. So just save. So let me come back here. It should work now. I didn't save that. You got to make sure you save the file. Okay, awesome. So now it works. So we have all the values being returned. Let's filter. Let's see if this works. Let me do LLC. Yep, that works. Institute, that works. So computer properties are great for manipulating data that exists already, and there's a lot you can do with it. So that works. So thank you for joining me on my first on this journey of SharePoint and VueJS. I'm gonna have a whole lot of other videos on my way. I'm getting a hang of creating these YouTube videos, and thanks for hanging in there with me. If there are any questions you have, please post it down below in the comments, and go view some SharePoint. Bye.